Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how to install your bulk ink system into your Epson 1400 printer. And here's the ink system right here, and then we have the ink cartridge right over here. So I already removed the ink cartridges from the carriage, so there's no cartridges in there. So now we're going to start to turn on the printer. Okay, the printer will go back and forth a couple of times and eventually will give us red indicator light that it needs ink or print cartridges, one or the other. Okay, it did give us a red LED light on print button, so that means it's asking for ink or cartridges. So what we're going to do now is to press the button on the ink. And we have to do it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, I think. Okay, 6 times. Okay, now I brought back the cartridge holder, the carriage, into the position where you usually install your cartridges. At this point, we're going to unplug the printer from the power source. Okay, the printer is unplugged. As you can see, there's no light or anything on. But now what the printer will allow us to do is move the carriage just by hand from the left and to the right. Okay, anywhere you want to position it. In this case, we're going to move it all the way to the left. Okay, carriage is all the way to the left. And now we are going to install the cartridges, the ink cartridges, face up, just like this. Okay, very carefully pass this under right here, that bar that separates the two open compartments from one another. Okay, and then hold it in your right hand, facing just like that, and with the left hand take the carriage and help it to come over here to the position where you usually put the cartridges in. So now you can lower the ink cartridge into the carriage very carefully. Don't push too hard. Now normally you would have to push these down and lock it in by the tabs right over here. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to reuse the cartridge again. So therefore, and I don't want any ink in the printhead. So now what we're going to do, we're going to push these way over to the right, where it usually stays in a lock position, and we will install the print cable onto the print stabilizer, cable stabilizer right here. This is always somewhat of a fight to do it. Okay, now that's there. And we are going to push the cartridge or rather the carriage, all the way to the left to see how much of slack of the ink ribbon we have. That's quite a bit of slack. We don't need this much. So now you just grab it over here on this side and pull on it slightly until you have some slack, but not too much. Okay, now when you did that, now you can push the carriage way back to the right again, and now you can install the ink ribbon. Let's see, right over here on the right hand side there's a little snap down adhesive backed ink ribbon holder. So you just push that down, and what you do at this point, you would powering your printer back on, and it would be ready to print, ready for action. Now this printer happened to have the ink line exited from the printer so that it does not dump the ink in the bottom of the printer. It will dumps the ink into this little jar right here, and that will take care of the ink. And periodically you just have to empty it out, and that's it. Now your ink bay right here, when it arrives in shipment, when you unpack, they be full of ink, and the ink be all over in there. So what you want to do, you want to tip it forward until all the ink from the reservoir in the backside of the container fully drained out, and eventually actually it drains into these in the front. And all you have to do now is just situate these wherever you want it, on the side or this way or whatever, and it's ready to print. Hope this was somewhat helpful, and bid you goodbye.